Well, I suppose now is as good a time as any to talk about these things. I'm going to try and remember to the best of my ability from the beginning. Obviously, probably like before the age of 4, I'm not going to be able to tell you. But I remember in the 70s, I was in a hurricane, at least 2 hurricanes. I was in a really bad snow blizzard where we had to leave our house because everything shut off and we had to go to the Hyatt Hotel. I think it was like 1977, something like that. Then I was in another hurricane with my grandma in Florida. Then let's see, really started to begin when I saw a guy die when I was 22, and we couldn't do anything about his body for 12 hours. And then I was in another hurricane, and then I was in several different accidents where I hurt my shoulder pretty bad when I was young. Never took care of it. Then when I moved to Oregon, I was in an earthquake where this like boulder rolled down the hill and almost hit our house, and we could all die. We were all asleep that morning. I was, let's see, like I said in some other videos, maybe my own brother, Greg, tried to kill me several times by either drowning me, throwing me from a tree, or trying to hit me with blunt objects like metal rakes and stuff like that. In 1998, in September, on my way to Costa Rica, our plane almost crashed, literally, over Guatemala City. We emergency landed in El Salvador. We all survived. If you've never been on a plane that's almost crashed, you don't know what it's like. You know, the stewardesses are all there at the beginning of the flight saying, "And if anything happens, put the mask on," and and it's like, yeah, right. And it all smiles and whatever. It doesn't happen like that at all, I could just tell you. Most people never get to tell you because when the plane's going down, it goes down and everybody dies usually, so nobody gets to give you their testimony of what was happening right before the plane crashed. But I'm going to tell you, nobody behaved at all the way they were instructed to. They were all like up with their arms and yeah. Same year, 1998, I was in a raft at night on the Pacuari River in the middle of Hurricane Mitch, and we rafted the river all night in the middle of the hurricane, and we didn't know because there was no GPS, there was no smartphones to tell us what was up. Survived that one. Survived floods and different other things in Oregon during the 90s. Can't even remember all that shit. Survived multiple earthquakes here in Mexico from 2007 to date, including the 2 really big ones in 2017 here in Mexico City. Was in Oaxaca for 5 years with lots of earthquakes and lots of hurricanes. And I don't even remember how many. I was in Zihuatanejo for a really bad hurricane in 2007. Survived that. We all worried we were going to get hepatitis or something because the water was flowing up around our ankles and more. I was in Nicaragua, got thrown from a horse, almost got electrocuted under weird circumstances. Not sure what that was about. Anybody who wants to know can come talk to me about that. I'll give them more of an accurate description. But there were 2 American people involved who all of a sudden, after I didn't get electrocuted, they were the ones who were shocked and ended up leaving and not knowing what to do because they got to get out of there because they tried to kill me. And they were worried about holy retribution. Had people come, and you can see in the videos on my channel, there's a video of a guy who tried to attack me at a hostel. I ejected him from the hostel and started videotaping. Somebody had paid him 5,000 pesos to come fuck with me. Didn't get to. He beat up a woman instead. How cowardly. These people claim to be so macho and manly and whatever, and they think they're so hot shit and cool. They're just cowards. They're just nasty, cowardly villains. Gaslighted for how many years by my own family? Who do you think? Maybe all these things happening to me is by somebody in my family, or is it the bank, or is it the government, or is it some secret society, or what is it? So like, other people came to different places where I was, especially Jewish women. Don't understand what that's all about, but couldn't figure out why. I'm putting that piece of the puzzle together there on that too. Survived some operations, survived cancer, survived somebody supposedly trying to poison me again in Eugene, Oregon in 2016. Survived another attempt on my life in the forest a couple years ago. That was strange because I was taking a path every day, a special, different path that I always take. And somebody put a bear trap in the middle of the path where I was going, and covered it up, thought I wasn't going to see it. And I'd be like, without a leg. I mean, seriously, these things don't happen by a random coincidence. So then, it would all of a sudden start raining wherever I was, even though I'm in the middle of the desert in the dry season, and all of a sudden clouds would form and it would rain. Why would that be? I don't understand. Certain people from, I would say from about 2008 to 2011, that came to me and asked me to help them, and I did. And what I'm talking about is somehow I healed them. I don't know why, how. Your guess is as good as mine. It's something that I was told by a Buddhist monk that something I know that it's not possible to teach. It's just something that's in me. I can only understand these things from the context of my own personal observations, my own empirical data, along with what I've read from other people talking about these things. My mind was enhanced. Was I part of a project that the government did? MK whatever Ultra? Who knows? All I know is that I survived all those things and more that I haven't even talked about, that are so unbelievable that you could say, wow, he was in how many hurricanes and how many earthquakes, and he was, in 2007, I was in a place called Troncones, and it started to rain, and this woman was at her house on her porch. I remember this too. Wow. Lightning strikes, and I was walking, and I was like walking in this area that was all wet, and I would have like gotten electrocuted then if I had not. Right before the lightning struck, I jumped in the air, and the woman saw it, and she was like, holy shit, how did you know to jump in the air right before the lightning struck so you didn't get electrocuted in the puddle? And I was like, I really don't know. It's like an instinct, something, it's like the divine guidance made me jump before the lightning struck. When I was a kid, I was taken out to sea by a current, and a dolphin came, and I grabbed its main dorsal fin, and it brought me back to the beach to my mother, who was tearing her hair out, freaking out, couldn't believe it. Lots of stories about dolphins. In Costa Rica, I had some dolphin friends, and I played with them every day. They wouldn't let me fish if I didn't jump out of the kayak first and play with them for a second. In Costa Rica, I also had with the capuchin monkey. I had a little monkey friend that came down out of the forest, was my friend for a while. In Nicaragua, you can see one of my videos, there's a bird that came down out of that tree randomly. I'm in a restaurant, just wanted to be my buddy. It just happened it was a female and wanted to be my girlfriend, really. It's kind of funny, since I was being accused of going to Nicaragua to look for a girlfriend, that was a girlfriend that it was. Oh man, that was great. I fucked off my exes with that video pretty good. But these things are not random occurrences. Everybody has an energy. And for some reason, my whole life, up until this age, the age of 57, my energy has brought to me certain events and certain beautiful, wonderful things that nobody else in the world could have, even if they paid for it with all the money that they have. And for as much as everybody's tried, and people like Donald Trump and everybody who in my family who knows him and all these other things that have happened, that they conspired against me and gaslighted me and tried to fuck with me for, everything backfired on them. And I survived all of these different things despite everybody's expectations and wishes that I shouldn't. And, you know, they even tried to use my kids against me. Couldn't do it. What? Why not just accept it and let it flow? I just can't understand. What would anybody want to keep trying to do something to me for? It just doesn't make any sense. After everything you might know from this video especially, how could you possibly try to keep fucking with me when you know you're not going to be able to? Why not just give up? That's all I gotta say. Thanks.